Hello, everyone. I hope traders and investors alike were green on Friday. Friday was a very interesting day. Looks like we are starting to get some participation out of some of the other stocks like the small caps, which can be kind of tricky right now because we're expecting the small caps to run into the new year or to run at when the new year comes in. And it would be nice to have the small caps help us out right now with the market and the conditions that the market are in. So kind of tricky there. Uh, but it was nice to see some movement out of the small caps. We did see some movement out of some of the names that, and some of the sectors and industries that we've been watching, like the travel and leisure sector, the airlines, things like that. Some of the retail stocks coming into seasonality. So some of that stuff we're starting to see some moves on. As for the econo data, our calendar for this week, unfortunately, there will be no Fed speakers. I know that probably makes a lot of traders happy, but for us, those Fed speakers provide some great opportunities, some really great short-term movement opportunities. It allows us to lock in some really nice gains with the help of IV on those candles. We do have some of the normal stuff coming in. We got on Monday, we got PMI, and we do have a 3 and 6 month auction bill at 11:30. So at 11:30, we just want to keep an eye on the market, see if we see any movement. And at 9:45 for PMI composite tomorrow. And on Tuesday, we do have ISM index services at 10. At 10 also, we have job numbers coming out. And 11 o'clock, we do have a 4-week bill announcement. So we want to be keeping an eye on the market at 11 o'clock. We've been getting some movement off some of these. I think Thursday will be our bigger day there, but we still want to be aware. Thursday, 8:15 in the morning, we get the ADP unemployment report. We can see some movement in the market there. And on Thursday, jobless claims at 8:30. Also got wholesale inventories at 10 that could possibly give us some movement as well. But Thursday, like I said earlier, this is probably where we're going to get the most movement from the bond market. If we're going to see any, we have one, two, three, there's 5 different things happening between 11 and 11:30. So we definitely want to be keeping an eye on the market, as we always do on Thursday between 11 and 11:30 for possible opportunities coming from the bond market. And of course, we're not trading the bond market. We're looking for opportunities in the stock market coming from some of the opportunities that are offered into the bond market. So I hope that makes sense. And on Friday, 8:30 unemployment report, 10 o'clock consumer sentiment, and then we have inflation expectations as well coming out at 10. As for earnings this week, as we know, we are coming to the end of earnings season, so we do have a few names, but things are slowing down. So we do have names like Neo this week. Ollie's reports. I know there's a few, at least one member who does like to follow Ollie's. We do have GameStop and Chewy, probably going to be some of the biggest opportunities there. DocuSigns in there this week as well. And that looks about, I actually see Play in there, ASAN's in there, looks like Smuckers is in there. So there is a few names reporting this week, but it's not, a heavy tech week coming in. So we do have some catalysts as well. So AMD is having their AI event again this week. I am not sure of the day. I believe it's midweek, but of course we'll have that dialed in. And we're going to talk something a little bit about Uber as well when we get to that chart, because Uber does have a catalyst with it as well right now that we could see some more upside on that name. So the put to call ratio is 84, looking better. We're getting down into the zone where the things just work better in the markets. And you can see, if you go back, and we've talked about this the last few weeks, if you go back and look at the better times when we had the better option movement in the market, you can see this is the area that we were in. And as you can see now, we're heading back down into this area. So we're hoping to see a little bit of improvement in the options market. So for oscillators for the NASDAQ, positive 251, strong move on Friday, in which we know we had a nice move on Friday, and you can see the S&P 500 at 232, nice strong move there on Friday as well. The SPX closed strong on the weekly. We actually slightly closed above this level right here, so that was the level that we were watching, and we were able to clear that. We got a candle close above that. See what we get. Of course, it does look like we could use a pullback, and going into the beginning of the September, sometimes we do get a pullback going into the beginning of December. People locking in those tax losses and things like that. So we do need to be extremely careful here about where we're putting our money. So the market right now, coming into this week, Basically, it's FOMO or a bull trap. Nice breakout. Really got to be patient and see what we get. Friday, we did have a huge breath move higher. So we closed at 2048 trend up day there, in which is basically what the market give us. So if we look here, we've been watching this very head and shoulder-ish pattern down here moving higher. This is the S&P 500 equal weight, and you can see the improvement the last 2 days, Thursday and Friday. That move right there is the participation broadening out into the markets, and that is exactly what we need to see for overall market health. The US dollar, so we pushed back up on Thursday at that 200. We closed at that 200 gap down Friday and actually did move a little bit lower on Friday. So seeing some weakness, would like to retrace that Thursday's candle back down. The VIX is looking very, I want to say H-cell pattern, but not quite formed it yet. Would like to see a candle close below this area here, looking for a move lower. Crude is putting in a little base here as well, trying to move lower. I would not be surprised if we come back down and retest this low for a price as memory trade, but I need to see a little more than that, trying to set up for a drowning goose here. So it does look like it wants to go lower. I'm looking for confirmation below this area, which just simply means I need a candle to close below that area. If I was to take a short trade on energy on Monday, I would be looking to trade that name down to until crude come down and hit this level. So if you were to draw a line, that would be the target, looking for a move down on crude until we clear that area. Apple, nice looking chart on this one. Going to change this flag up a little bit. We've been watching that flag, and you can see right here that candle on Friday closed above. We put the arrow on there. You can see we've closed above that trend. So Apple should be gearing up, trying to move higher. Will it? We will see. I will like Apple better when price action gets above this candle line. If I was to draw a straight line across the top of the highest candle body in that, I want to see a candle close up above. I do like this chart right now. Watching the MACD very closely and watching this Bollinger Band as well. Looks like it's trying to turn higher. My Discord understands why I watch those small details, because we get moves out of it. All right, Apple, strong push up on Friday. All right, gold, really nice push here. Very strong push. Bollinger Bands are opening up. A very nice move. Still looking for follow through. See if we can get some follow through to push higher on the gold chart. That was a nice move last week. Bouncing up. Nice gap down here below. 9 is raging higher. It's a nice looking chart. And I know a lot of people see an RSI that hot, they automatically want to think short. I love seeing something hot that's just telling me it's got a lot of relative strength into it. So new highs, this chart right here tells us what the percentage of the stocks are above the New York Stock Exchange 50 and a 200, and the S&P 50 and 200. So very strong move on Friday. We are now at 62% of the stocks that are within the New York Stock Exchange are now above their 200, and 74% are now above their 50-day. Strong market improvement here. The S&P 500, this 66% of the stocks are above their 200-day now in the S&P 500, and above 86% are above the 50-day in the S&P 500. That is a very strong, very healthy move higher. The S&P 500. So this is basically the top of this chart is the S&P 500. You see the nice move higher. This is the advanced decline lines for the New York Stock Exchange for the top, and then S&P large caps, mid caps, and small caps all within the S&P index. And you can see we are turned up very nicely on the small caps. A lot of weakness here compared to the rest of the market, but nice improvement on Friday. That's going to be a little tricky because small caps really don't start to run too hard until the new year. So we do need to be careful there and be selective on the ones that we're watching. Like I say, and we'll talk more about it as we go through the video, some of the travel and leisure stuff, as you can see Airbnb here. So this and a lot of people would say not textbook enough for you, and that's fine. This is an inverted head and shoulders all day long for me. This one shoulder is not perfect, and that's fine. Nice breakout. This gap has been filled. Now this is going back to the travel and leisure stuff. So the reason why this is on the radar is because we've been watching travel and leisure for And that is a seasonal thing. People traveling, going into Christmas to spend time with their families, and people shopping. So we've been watching retail names, looking for breakouts there. We've been looking for names in the travel and leisure sector with like Airbnb and the airlines, CCL, Norwegian Cruise Line, names like that. We're going to look at a few of those charts as we go through. Um, so the banks have been definitely improving and trying to push higher. And a big part of the financial sector is the insurance industry, and that's why we've been keeping a close eye on. Aflac's been the only one that we've been watching, but a lot of these pretty much move together. So the insurance names are still strong, flagging back into the 9 here. If we can clear this volume profile, we're definitely looking for a move higher, and I would expect some price acceleration up there as well. So if we get that pop, it's probably going to be a nice pop. AMD, like I said in the beginning of the video, they do have an AI event, and I know it's midweek. I believe it's Wednesday, but I am not sure, and I don't want to overstress the date until I am certain about that date. But I do believe that's Wednesday, that we do have an event coming up. So Catalyst on AMD on Wednesday. I believe definitely we have a catalyst this week on AMD, and we'll be more certain about the data or the date as we go through the week. Amazon, so this is Amazon's daily chart. We lost a 9 on Thursday. We looked like we gapped down and recovered, and nice push back up above the 9 on Friday. This chart, I would look for something just like this. I know a lot of people love these laggard charts, but this is where I want to be. I'm looking for these breakouts. I'm not trying to, I don't want to call it lazy, because it's not always lazy. Sometimes with some people it's just lazy and they don't want to put in any work, so they're just looking to buy something on the bottom of the chart. And other people do have real strategy, so I don't want to put the strategy down, but I am not a laggard trader. I'm not looking for laggards. Reversals, yes, but I'm not just buying a laggard. I will catch the reversal on that laggard stock when the time comes, but I am not looking to just to enter a stock just because it's been beat down. There's a reason why that stock is lagging, and I'm looking for, I need to see the actual reversal and not just buy it, hope for the reversal. But I am a momentum trader, so I do trade breakouts, I do trade reversals, and I'm not looking to buy anything unless the momentum is in that stock. I'm not that guy or not that trader who's buying and hanging out. I'm only buying when there's momentum in the asset, especially because I'm an options trader, and the way IB works within those options, there's a lot of opportunities in there to make some extra money that most people, that 99% of the traders out here trading, don't even realize, unfortunately. ARK, nice push up here as well. Strong move. All the ARK names are moving really well right now. All of them. ARK, ARKG. There's several of them. ARKX. It's actually 5 of them, I do believe. ARM. We have this H-buy pattern here. We're looking for a move higher, a nice flag. Flag break forms H-buy pattern. A bearish flag forms an H-sell pattern. Flag broke, we formed an H-buy pattern. We're looking to play this with an H-buy pattern. Still looking for a move up to possibly to the high where the IPO, where we come out that day. That is the target here. Avgo, very nice looking weekly chart here. Broke out, come back, retested the short-term moving average, exactly what we want to see. So if this was the 5-minute chart, remember I did a little video. This is a weekly chart, but I did a little video just talking about multiple time frames and trying to help everybody understand multiple time frames. If this was the 5-minute chart, we'd be looking for that pullback into that 9 and for a bounce. If this is the daily chart, but if this was the 1-minute chart, we'd be looking for this bounce to take out that flag line and looking for a way up. Now, it's tradable. Remember, trading in a trading range if we do push up, because this is a nice candle on Friday. So we have a pin bar here. It's hard to call it a hammer because it does have a wick on top. So I'm not going to call it a hammer. It's a pin bar, but it did close into the previous day's candle. So let's see where we open up tomorrow. Watching to take out Friday's candle body. We get above this level. If we can open up above, I'd look for a move up into that area. If we open up below, say we gap down a little bit, when we clear Friday's candle, I'd be looking for a move back up into some short-term moving averages, back up above our flag line there, our trend line right there. We're looking for a move higher. AMD holding this 20, so dip below the 9, holding the 20. I posted a chart of this last week saying that this one, because some other charts were pulling back, and this one actually confirmed higher. And one of the things that I noted, I posted a couple charts, but one of the things that I noted before I would take an entry into these names, I would let the Bollinger Bands be the timer right now. And if you're not in the Discord, that may not make any sense to you, but I've taught or teaching these guys how to use their bands to be your timer to help you judge when to enter the breakout, because we're not buying stocks to sit into them to hope that they work. We're catching the movement on the stocks. We're letting the market choose the direction that they want to take the stocks, and then it's a lot simpler when they choose the direction. Then we go in on it, and then we make money a lot easier, and we're not sitting in the stuff hoping that it works. So when you're sitting in the stuff hoping that it works, it can create a lot of emotions itself and release dopamine, things like that in the brain, serotonin's in the brain, and it can really confuse you. So if we're not sitting into those stocks, it takes out a lot of that. So my whole strategies that I've built is to keep a lot of the emotions from stirring while you're waiting for things to happen. So if we're not sitting into the stock waiting for it to happen and we're actually catching the movement, it cuts off a lot of the dopamine and the serotonins and the other things that runs through the brain while we're trading. Most people don't realize that, that's even happening and even affecting them. AMD weekly. That looks kind of like a topping candle on the weekly. Let's see what we get. Remember, we do have a catalyst this weekend of that name. Amazon, you can kind of see the little inverted head and shoulders there. We're going to talk more about that because we had a good setup on Friday on the SPY, but pretty flat on Friday on the 15-minute chart. Amazon weekly, looking a little like a topping candle there. We may want to come back in. Got a nice cup and handle breakout. I would like to see these moving averages get higher. The Bollinger Bands look really good there. Like I say, if we come back in, I'm just looking for a move back into some moving averages and then to go higher. Apple on the weekly. This is not a bad looking chart. Another close higher. Could be. I mean, yes, small candles up here from the previous week, looking a little gravestone-ish. Still a high closed candle, as ugly as it is, but last week still got a higher closed candle, which is a good sign for a move higher. Boeing, this has been an incredible breakout here. We were watching this little inverted head and shoulders pattern down here, and I know this is not an inverted head and shoulders, so a lot of people would not call this an inverted head and shoulders. I personally do not care. I know this shoulder is a little small compared to that shoulder. It is not super textbook, and I personally don't care. You can see the move off from it. We trade patterns like this all the time. This is why I tell my members not to get over it. The textbooks are great with a lot of great basic information, but what we do is show you how to apply the information in different markets with a different market, basically what we call mood, because the market is very moody and it can have mood swings. It basically has a mind of its own. And if you can see the market like that, you can and accept that there's no certainty in the market, it will totally help your performance while you're trading. All right, so this is BBY, Best Buy. We've added it. You can see breaking up higher. Nice move here. This is one of the names, the retail names we've been talking about to keep an eye on, and they're starting to work. You can see last week we did close here. This is very rising two-ish. We cleared this 200-day on Best Buy. I'm looking for a move higher, but we got to clear that 200-day. This could see some backfill first. See what we get tomorrow. New month. BIG. This is Big Lots, strong move. They had earnings. You can see Thursday, long-legged doji there. Friday, strong move higher, good move. I just want to congratulate one of my members. Good job on this one, Terry. Bitcoin going higher outside of the BBs here so far. Nice looking candle up there. This MACD is just getting ready to change character. The RSI is screaming hot up here. And this is why I say I love a screaming hot RSI. This RSI is screaming hot, pulled back. If this was an asset, you were just watching that RSI, you would have probably went short just because the RSI, because you thought that RSI was telling you it was oversold. It does not mean oversold. It just means it's full of relative strength. Now, it could cool off, sure, and you can see right here, perfect example, cooled off without that asset pulling in. So building strategies around RSI and MACDs only are not sustainable. CCJ, another one, nice move higher, strong close on Friday, strong close on Thursday with an inside day on Friday. Keep an eye on that one. Might be able to get a play off that 9. CCL, it's another one I've actually been talking about this one. I have only managed to get 2 trades in with this one. One was a little over 20% and one was about 53%. Obviously, my main asset that I trade is the SPX, and trading Tesla and Nvidia and a few other names like that, the SPY from time to time, with my focus is on SPX, because that is where the most of my money is. I don't have the opportunity to take a lot of the trades that were out here recommended, but I do try to get something out of them from time to time just to show that I am trading the recommendations as well. And of course, all our recommendations are for paper trading only. CENX is another one from the metal sector we talked about last week. And you can see right here, if you were to extend this line, had this flag, backed away. Now clearing that line was when it was time to go in. So you never broke the line up there. If we were to extend it out, you can see when it cleared it. Just something that we talk about every day. Got a great goose head there. Just looks like it wants to go higher. Close over that 200. Still looking for a move up into this area. Then we'll rethink the trade and see where we're at then. That's the #1 target. Chewy coming into earnings. Chewy has been really lagging, and I'm surprising. Chewy was a stock that I've had on the list for a long time, and we took it off because of the performance of it. I actually like this stock, and I think it's a great stock for newer traders, for any trader, please, for any trader. But I like a lot of these names for newer traders because you can trade these. They don't cost a whole lot, and you can learn to trade. Remember, it's about learning a skill set before it's about making money. If you're coming into the market and your only thought is how much money am I going to make, you're most likely 99.9% you're going to fail. Trading needs to be treated a little differently than most people treat it. If you want to learn to be a trader, you need to learn to be a trader. Just like if you want to go and be a lawyer, you go to college to be a lawyer. It takes a little time to learn the skill set on anything, and you should be learning the skill set before you're in here throwing crazy amounts of money away. And I'm just being honest. You should be learning the skill set on how to trade before you're throwing crazy amounts of money away. Stop setting yourself up for a disaster. A lot of people do this. You know, if there's a sign there that says don't pet that dog because that dog bites, and you reach in there and you pet that dog and the dog bites you, you ask for it. Basically, is what I'm trying to say is if you keep setting yourself up and dogs continue to bite you, then it helps build fear. So if you keep taking losses in the market because you honestly just don't know what you're doing and you don't have your mindset right yet, you're just piling on or adding to this huge wall that's going to keep you back from being a professional trader. Your professional traders trade the way they do through confidence, and it's hard to build confidence when you keep setting yourself up for consistent losses. So basically, when we see a sign that says, you know, don't pet the dog, we don't pet the dog to increase our probabilities of not getting bit. Stop taking stupid losses until you get some structure into your plan, into your strategy, some structure into your mindset of trading. You know, a lot of you guys are out here setting yourself up for just worse emotional the whole emotional aspect side of the trading. You're just setting yourself up for failure. All right, coin, nice push here, nice, very nice cup and handle breakout. We're watching this inverted head and shoulders on the weekly. As I've said, my target is up in this area, but I would watch, 195 is what we're looking to get up to eventually. Will it go straight there? No, probably not. But definitely keeping an eye on this name. I do think this name has a lot of upside, but I'm also aware that there is some ranges on this stock that we will probably never get back to. So we got it. That one's a little tricky to be putting targets on. Costco's close above. Nice little flag here. So we come up, pushed up, we pulled back, we tested that level again, we pulled back. This time we confirmed over that level. Got the nice goose head there. Watching Costco's for further upside this week. XLC, the communication sector, hanging back on the 20 there. And the biggest reason why I watch the communication sector because Meta and Google are a big part of that sector. XLP, consumer staples, pushing higher, another sector we've been keeping an eye on. Delta Airlines, we've been talking about travel and leisure. We got this breakout here on Delta Airlines on Friday. We're looking to clear this 200. We can clear this 200 and get that 9 above the breakout area. We're looking for more upside. Disney hanging out down here between the 9 and 20, looking a little iffy here. As long as we're hanging out here, I'm not interested into it. This could come roll over, let the 9 roll over. We could reclaim that 9 and go higher, letting the market make up its mind which way they want to take Disney right now. DraftKings, very nice looking flag. Will this break out again? This is one we've been watching I've been watching it for a long time. But we got this nice breakout, another flag, another push higher. I like this once we get a candle to close. Let's draw a line here. We get a candle to close over that area like we got for now. I want a candle to close over top of this wick, or when the candle pushes up over top of that last wick right there, I'd be interested in going bullish. Now these bands are coming in, so watch your bands. Uh, use them as a timer on that one. DUOL. This chart still looks good. We are pulling back. As long as we hold this 20, can easily take that 9 back and go higher, or it could break down. Plan A, plan B, it could go either way. You could look at this one just by simply, because you can see it's giving you a very nice little trading range up here. So you could treat this one just like a trading range trade and look for a break of that box. And don't be so uh, tight on your candle bodies right now. We talk about this all the time. Stay off your candle bodies. Give yourself a little room. It's a sloppy market, so we want a little room for error. Like right here, instead of hugging that one, I'd rather go down to this and be below this candle line right here. If I'm able to get a candle up above that wick, I would be interested in looking to take a trade. So we're going to lock that one in, save that, and then we're going to continue on. See what else we see. ExxonMobil, you got a box down here looking for the same thing. We need to close out that box. Those moving averages look like it does want to go lower. GME, this is GME's daily chart. This one has been getting hyped up on volume. You can see a nice push there on volume. We come back down on Thursday and then Friday trying to push back up. So coming into earnings, but you can also see this little trading range here. Got a gap below. We get outside of that box, I'd be interested into a trade. Google rolling over back below the 9, the 20, and the 50. That one's not the greatest looking chart right now. Google pretty flat. What I do like, Friday's candle could be a sign, so not going to count that one out, but definitely showing a little bit of weakness compared to some of these other names right now. And you can see Friday was pretty flat. We can clear that area, looking for a move higher. HRB, so H&R Block, closed back above the 9s. This looks like a good setup here. This one does look like it wants to go higher. Be willing to keep an eye on this one tomorrow. Watch this little gap. Looks like there's a little piece of a gap there. So I like it better when it clears this candle range, but we should, as long as we open up above this 9 tomorrow, looking for a move up to the top of that range. That's where I would take profits myself. Catch that, lock that in, because the bigger your conservative trade would be above this level if you want a candle to close above this level. So breaking out, you get a candle to confirm above that level, then you can start looking for a bigger trending trade higher. Intel, still watching this box. Expansion, remember, contraction, expansion, trend. So we're contracting in here. You can see the goose head possibly forming. We did confirm out of the box, coming back in. A lot of times these contraction patterns can do this. When they start that expansion phase, they can easily jump one way and then come right back and move outside of that box. So wanted to see where the next directional confirmation out of that box will be. IWM 15-minute chart raised higher on Friday. Qs closed back above the 9. We come back in, close back above the 9. Look at those red candles and how that 9's angled right now. This chart does look like it wants to go higher. Sure, I know we should pull back in, but that chart screaming looks like it wants to go higher. Qs intraday, pretty choppy on Friday. The Qs weekly, strong close up there. Second close above that area. So this is the next area we want to take out. If we can clear the all-time high, then we're looking to go higher. Jets, we've been watching the airlines because it's a seasonal thing. People will be traveling, so we got a breakout of that area on Friday. So it's time to keep those trades on the radar. JP Morgan going higher here. This is the target area over here that we've already moved through. So that target has been hit, and we actually got a close above, looks like. Nope, not yet. Sorry, we still need a close above this to go higher. So right now that target on JP Morgan has been hit. See how we handle it. It's a good chance this may pull back into the 9. See what we do tomorrow. We could cap up and run, depending on how much FOMO comes into the market. Macy's, this is one of the retail names. Remember, we've been watching these retail names because they're money coming into them for Christmas. So these guys are selling products, making money, seasonal type thing is what I'm trying to say. And we've been watching those for a seasonal push. Nice move on Macy's. Not going to spend too much time on that chart. McDonald's, nice close above. See if we can go higher. This was the target area right in here to see if we could clear that. From breaking out here, we were looking for a move into there. It handled that well, pushing higher. We're looking to go higher, looking for a move up to this range high up here now. Meta, oh, let's go back. Meta below the 9 and 20, trying to come for it. At the end of the day, you can see the buyers did try to push it back up. Keeping a close eye on those charts, you can see the move here where higher low trying to push it back up on the 15. Microsoft, we lost the 9, still holding the 20 there. Can we roll the 9 over? Definitely want to watch some of these names for possible profit taking. A lot of times we see a little pull going into December. So we do want to be careful with our major names. Microsoft intraday, big pull. You can see some recovery there at the end of the day on the 15. Microsoft weekly, these pants look great. I mean, this is a great looking chart here. Low close candle last week. We really do want to, we would want to come back in, flag on the 9 to set up for the next move higher. And that's kind of what it looks like we're trying to do. NEM, this was a nice breakout. We talked about this last week, having 2 different downtrends there to take out. And was a very nice breakout move up into that 200. NVIDIA, moving up. So we can see we've lost a 920, started to move lower. Little spinning top down here on Friday. See where we open up tomorrow. Would be nice to try to push back up and retest those levels. We can still reclaim that 9 and go higher. MACD is cooling off. This may want to pull in a little bit, so we just need to be careful and patient with it. If we go back to or go to the weekly time frame, a pull into that weekly 9 and 20, well, there's really nothing wrong with it. It could be healthy. No, that would be a healthy pullback into that and to look for a move higher off of that. The NASDAQ, so we lost gap down on Friday and it ripped higher. Nice move there on the NASDAQ. Netflix is coming in here. Want to keep a close eye on this one. We're seeing this with a lot of these bigger names. That's why we're hoping to see some of the smaller names start contributing to the market. And this is a daily travel and leisure vacation ETF that we've been watching. You can see the head and shoulders, very rough inverted head and shoulders type pattern down there, but looks a lot like so many of the other ones did. You can see the 9 turning up, the goose head forming, closing above the 200. Let's keep an eye on those names this week. Path, strong push higher. This was a earnings play. Had great earnings, big move there. We want to keep an eye on this one. We have a gap below us. Moving on, expanding volume. This MACD is great. I love this RSI being hot. This may want to come back in. We are outside of the BB, so remember, this won't make sense to a lot of other traders, but that Bollinger Band is support if we need to use it for that. Q's weekly, got their cup and handle, trying to push higher. This is the monthly. Got the new monthly candle, and it is trying to push higher. Now, if we were to go back and look at December, that's last December, was a low close month. No Santa Claus rally last year. Look at this December. Looks like it wasn't the greatest December as well. Very tough action there. If we go back and we look December here, you can see we did get a high close candle with a decent push higher. If we go back and look at December, decent high close candle with a decent push higher. This December was a low close candle. So going back and looking at things that have happened in the past, we can definitely see that this can go either way. Now, this year is an election year, so we're keeping an eye on that as we're coming into this year as well. The SPX daily, strong push up into resistance. We need to clear that level now. So SPX is right at some resistance here. A shop got a nice bull flag break. We got confirmation over that level. See if we can go higher. Tomorrow we need to see a shop open up, remain above that level, and continue to push higher. If it gets back below that line, then we need to reclaim that line. SMH, seeing a little bit of weakness here the past 2 weeks. The diamond's just been super strong. Thursday and Friday, nice push up there. SPX or SPY weekly, strong close above. I would love to see this come back in a little bit, let some moving averages catch up, but that's a nice looking chart. SPY monthly, nice. It's a nice start. Candle's not closed yet, but a nice start, trying to give us follow through on November's candle. A SPY daily, nice push higher. I mean, it's been a struggle up here, but a really nice move higher, moving on decent volume on Friday. This MACD looks great for a move higher. RSI is exactly where I want it. I know a lot of people think they should go short here, and I'm not saying the market should pull back, but as you can see, if you go short just because, you can get burnt really bad. If you went short just because you were up here, look at the move higher. You would have gotten burnt. This is why we have to build a strategy more around price action and use our tools to help us with decision making, but we don't build the strategy around the tools themselves. Price action comes first. Price is the only thing that pays. Nice push up here on SPY 15. Square is going higher. Another nice looking chart. Not the biggest range candles, and we're seeing that in a lot of these charts where people steady trying to push it higher, but people would love to see a pullback before coming, really getting in super involved. So you got Tesla here, you got this inverted head and shoulders. Now we played an inverted head and shoulders play on SPY. If you go to the 15 here, I didn't draw it out, but on Friday, I know people look at this and think, well, pre-market levels and all this stuff, and you got people saying, well, your pre-market levels are not important, and there's all kinds of crazy stuff that you hear. But the fact is, I don't trade without my pre-market levels because we always find ways to use it. That's not a perfect neckline. That should be farther down. But you can clearly see your shoulder, your head shoulder. That's what we come into with Friday morning, which, as you can see, give us a nice breakout. So we're going to save that, lock that in, go back to Tesla here, Tesla 15. Taiwan Semi got a nice flag. You can see, drawing the line. Same thing on the 1 minute chart. We get a candle to close above. That's confirmation to go higher. Got to get that candle to close above first. XLK holding in great. The monthly chart, strong close. So the tech is just extremely strong. Strong close last month. This month already starting to go higher. This MACD on this chart looks like it's just getting started. Tesla, we need to clear this downtrend. You can see it. We clear that, looking for a move higher on that one. Tesla weekly, like to clear. You can see this flag back into the 20. Need to clear that weekly 9, and you can draw that out. Look for the flag break on the weekly as well. Uber. So Uber has joined the S&P 500, or looks like it will be joining the S&P 500 on December 18th. So that's a nice catalyst for this name. This name was fairly extended. It did pause here. Now it did go higher, but it wasn't raging higher in this area, kind of letting things catch up. The 9s right here with that catalyst. Look how hot that RSI is. I can't say this enough, guys. You get yourself in trouble just going short just because you see an RSI, and it doesn't work. So many people have been blown out of the market trying to find something so simple to use as a strategy, and that is not it, I promise you. I don't even use the RSI. It's here for technical analysis reasons, but it is not on my chart when I am trading at all. But I do believe Uber has more upside coming into it. Joining the S&P 500 is a good thing. And looks like Uber is actually the largest stock that's not in the S&P 500. Uber's addition isn't a surprise because the rideshare company is the largest ranked by market capitalization that wasn't in the S&P 500. Uber's market value is about 116 billion. Walmart, this one has been, we were able to get this push and it just come right back down to the support level. Also, this is your 200. It's purple. It should be red, but that's your 200 on your daily. Below your daily 200, this Bollinger Band right now at MACD is suggesting more downside. Below your 200 on a daily, and draw this line out. I like it better below that candle right here, but make sure you got something here. There's plenty of areas. You can see the major level right there. You can see the volume profile. We need to be below that. Below that area, we're looking for a move lower on Walmart. XLE, it's a big struggle here. I honestly have no idea what's going on with crude. Last week they kept hitting different meetings, and this meeting's been postponed, and I'm not sure what the big deal was, honestly, because I haven't heard anything about any real decision making there that they have made. Definitely keeping energy on the radar as always, but I don't really know what to say there. XLF raging higher, nice move. Bands look great. We looked at some of these bands. Actually, last week we lost a few subscribers because I guess people don't like looking at are looking at the moving average and looking back. I know a lot of people are they just want to hear what they want to hear, and I'm not that guy that's going to tell you just what you want to hear because it's what you want to hear. Uh, XRT, this is a retail ETF. Strong push higher is another one that we've been watching. We wasn't sure if it was going to put in the shoulder or just go straight go, and this thing chose straight go. Nice move up, so we're keeping an eye on retail names, and we looked at a few of them. TLT, bond market improving, going higher. That's great for the market. And IWM weekly close. Close, we'll call that a rising one. Nice recovery there. Now, I do want to point out that IWM has been in this area for quite some time. Would be nice to get it out of that area for a push higher. Maybe that can be something that we can look forward to going into next year. Right now, if we can just get back up to that range high, you can simply draw the level on your chart. That is the target right now. Let's go to the daily. IWM, nice breakout on the daily, getting above that 200, moving higher. And this is moving on expanding volume as well. So expanding volume is just more volume than average coming into it, and we had great volume on Friday, and you can see the volume has been picking up in this area for over a month now compared to what the average was previously. So IWM is getting some good attention. We do need to be careful with IWM due to small caps end of the year. But right now, nice breakout. I would watch this area on the way up. This is the main target, which is going to put us back to the same level we just looked at on the monthly chart or the weekly chart. That's our target. We're not trying to trade above that level. That is the target. Now, we take profits there. IWM moves above that level. We go back in on it. We look for another trade. But we don't bend the rules. That's your target. When you get to your target, you cut your trade and you look for the next setup. I hope you find this helpful. A little long, and I know I was leaning on discipline, but discipline is what's going to make you a trader. A profitable professional trader is not going to come through a strategy. It's going to come through more of a mindset to go with your different strategies that you're using, but it's more about the mindset, and I hope everybody understands that. Hope you find this video helpful, and of course, as always, I will see you in the trading room.